So in today's lecture, we will discuss about how to write a Verilog module for D flip-flop. Till now, we have studied about how to write a Verilog modules for combinational circuits. Now here flip-flop is a sequential circuit. So now we will discuss how to write that module where we are using the sequential circuits. So first we will discuss about the Verilog code of positive edge trigger D flip-flop. Then we will discuss about the Verilog code of negative edge trigger D flip-flop. Then I will show you the demonstration of this code using test bench. So now Verilog code of positive edge trigger D flip-flop with a reset. So this is the block diagram of D flip-flop, positive edge trigger D flip-flop. So here we have one clock input. At this clock input, this type of clock will be applied, and here this is a positive edge triggered flip-flop. So see, if it is a negative edge triggered flip-flop, then here you will find one bubble. This bubble indicates the negative edge triggered flip-flop, and the absence of the bubble indicates positive edge triggered flip-flop. So this is a positive edge triggered flip-flop. Now this is, here there is an input called as D input. So when the clock receives the positive edge means this edge, right? This is a positive edge. This is the positive edge. When clock is going from 0 to 1, so this is your positive edge. So now whenever the positive edge is received at the clock input, at that time whatever may be the value of D input, that will be propagated to output Q, provided this reset input, this is a reset input, provided this reset input is 1. Okay, so if the reset input is 1, then during the positive edge of the clock, whatever value is present at the D input will be transferred at the output Q. Now if at any point of time this reset, if this reset becomes 0, then the Q output will also become 0, right? So this reset is your asynchronous input. It is asynchronous. It is asynchronous input. Asynchronous input means it is not synchronized with any clock. At any point of time you can apply a low signal on the reset, then the output will reset, output will become 0. So this is a asynchronous input, whereas the D input is a synchronous input, right? Because it is synchronized with this clock. Whenever there is a positive edge in the clock, at that time only the content of D will be transferred to the output. Whereas for the reset, at any point of time, if the reset will become 0, then the output will become 0. For the normal operation of the flip-flop, reset must be 1. If reset is 1, then only during the positive edge D input will be transferred to the output Q. This is the truth table of this D flip-flop, and in this truth table, in this truth table, we have written this truth table by assuming the condition that RST is 1. If RST is 1, So here this is the column present state, right? Present state means before the application of clock, whatever is the output, that is the present state. Then second column is the input value D, and third column is the next state. Next state means once the positive edge of the clock is detected, then what will be the value of Q? That is called as next state. Okay. So here, if the present state is 0, okay, I will erase this content, right. So suppose this is the clock, or I will draw the clock here. Right? This is the clock and this is the positive edge, right? So let us assume our RST input is 1. It is binary 1, right? So now let us assume you just concentrate on the first row. The present state Q is 0. This means right now the value of Q is 0. When this positive edge is detected, at that time the value of D input is 0. So what will be the next state? Simply the D value will be transferred to the Q. So output will remain same. It will remain 0. So present state is 0 and next state is also 0 if D input is 0. See the next condition. If present state is 0, right now it is 0 here, and D input is 1, right, and this positive edge of the clock is detected, so at that time this 1 will be transferred to the Q, so Q will become 1. So now you see here D input is 0 and next state will be 0. Next state means after the detection of the positive edge of the clock, that is the next state. So next state will be 1. See the third row. Let us assume right now the present state is 1, means output value of this flip-flop is 1. D input is 0. So let us assume this D input is 0. So next state means when this positive edge is detected, at that time this value of D will be transferred to the output. So output will become 0, right? Means D will be transferred to the output. So see here, output will become 0. So this is the next state. Now we see the last row. If the present state is 1, let us assume present state is 1, D input is 1, D input is 1. When the clock is detected, positive edge of the clock is detected, then this 1 will be transferred to the output. That will be the, so next state will remain same. There is no change in the next state. So see here, present state 1, D input 1, and next state is 1. So basically what is happening in this D flip-flop, whatever is the D input, see D input is 0, so your next state is 0. D input is 1, next state is 1. D input is 0, next state is 0. D input is 1, next state is 1. This means your next state is equal to the value of D, right? So this Q is next state. Next state, right? So the next state will be the value of the D will become the value of Q once the positive edge of the clock is detected. And mind you, this operation is taking place if this RST is 1. At any point of time, if the RST is 0, then whatever may be the value of D, whatever will be the value of present state, the next state will always be 0, right? If RST is equal to 0, then whatever may be the present state, whatever may be the input, the next state will always be 0. So we have to model this, right? Okay. So this is the code here, and this is method 1. There are various methods to write the Verilog code for this D flip-flop. So this is method 1, module and module. Then the name given to this Verilog module is DFF. The various ports are D, CLK, RST and Q. So D, CLK, RST and Q. These are the various ports of this Verilog module. And in these various ports, inputs are D, CLK, RST. These are the inputs. D input, CLK input and RST. These are the input ports. And output port is Q. Q is the output port. Now again here I have declared Q as reg type, register type variable, right? Okay. Why I have declared Q as reg type? Because we know that we are going to use the always block, that is a procedural statement, and inside the procedural statement I am going to assign some value to the Q variable, right? So in that case Q must be a reg type. Now here always at the rate. Now in the sensitivity list, what I have done, I have used a keyword neg edge and then RST. Then I have used the keyword positive edge, POS, edge means positive edge, and then clock. What is the meaning of these keywords, neg edge and pose edge, right? So the meaning of positive edge, so pose edge after that whatever signal you have written. So here for example I have written CLK, right? So whenever a positive edge is detected in the signal CLK, then this always block will be activated, right? So once the always block is activated, all the statements written inside always block will be executed. So the purpose of writing this keyword pose as is to detect the positive edge of the clock. Since I am modeling the positive edge triggered flip-flop, that's why I am using here pose edge. So again, what is the meaning of this? Suppose this is the clock which is applied. This type of clock signal is applied in the CLK input. So whenever this edge is detected on this CLK input, then the always block will be activated, right? And the statements written inside always block will be executed. So since we have to operate this flip-flop at the positive edge only, positive edge of the clock only, that's why I have used pauses, right? Now with the RST I have written neg edge. So what is the meaning of this neg edge? RST, right? Here I have used the signal RST and neg edge. So now with this, what will happen? This neg edge keyword will detect the negative edge on the RST, right? Suppose this is the RST, some signal we have applied on the RST. So now whenever this negative edge is detected, right? Whenever signal is going from high to low, this is a negative edge. When this edge is detected, right? Then the always block will be activated. Okay. So why we have used neg edge here? Because this RST is a active low signal. Whenever RST is low, its value is 0, then only I will reset the output. That's why I have used the neg edge here, right? So I will explain this again here. So how I have written the code, you just see by using if else statement. Inside the if else statement, I am checking the first condition. If negative edge of the RST is detected, or if positive edge is detected, if any one of these edges is detected, right? In between I have kept here comma. Comma means or. Either negative edge of the RST is detected or positive edge of the clock is detected. In both the cases, this always block will be active, right? This always block will be active. Now let us assume RST is 1. Let us assume RST is 1. It is continuously 1. It is 1, right? And this is the clock. We have applied some clock like this. Like this, right? And here RST is 0, like this. Again it is 1. Okay, I will draw this side. 1 minute. Here it is RST. And this is clock. Like this, some clock is applied. Okay. So let us assume this is the simulation time, right? Let us assume this is t is equal to 0. Now once the negative edge on the clock is detected or the positive edge on the once the negative edge on the clock is detected or negative edge on the RST and the positive edge on the clock is detected, then first this condition is evaluated. If RST is equal to 0, if that is true, then 0 will be assigned to Q. Right? We know that if RST, this input is 0, then the flip-flop will reset, means Q will become 0. Else if means if RST is not 0, means now these conditions will be evaluated if your RST is equal to 1. So now what will be evaluated? Else if D is equal to 0. If D is equal to 0, then what will happen? 0 will be assigned to Q, right? Because we know that 0 will be assigned to Q if this flip-flop is having RST 1 and a positive edge of clock is detected. Otherwise, if D is not 0, then this condition will be evaluated. Else if D is equal to 1, then what will happen? Then 1 will be assigned to Q. So whatever is the value of D, that we are assigning. If the RST is 1, then whatever is the value of D, that we are assigning to the Q input, Q output. Okay, right. Now let us see how this code is working. So suppose RST is 1 at time simulation time t is equal to 0, RST is 1, right? And clock is high. Now after certain time, clock will go low. So this is the negative edge on the clock. So if there is negative edge in the clock, then this always block is not activated, because always block will activated only when there is positive edge on the clock or if there is negative edge on the RST. So at this time right? Let us assume at this time T1, there is no change in the edge of the RST signal. It is still high, and the clock is going from high to low. So this always block is not active. Now we see at time T2. Suppose at this time T2, what happened? RST is still 1. So if RST is still 1, then neg edge RST, this will not detect any change in the RST, right? No event is detected on RST. It is still high. But at time T2, the clock is going from low to high. So this is the positive edge of the clock, right? So this is the positive edge of the clock. Positive edge is detected. So if the positive edge is detected, then always block will be activated, and this condition will be evaluated. If RST is 0, so at T2, what is the value of RST? RST is not 0. RST is 1. Okay, so if it is 1, then next two conditions, these conditions will be evaluated. If now the value of D is 0, then Q will become 0, and if D is 1, then Q will become 1, right? Right. Okay, now we see at this time, at time T3, RST is still 1, but clock is changing from 1 to 0, and this is the negative edge. And if negative edge is detected, then the always block will not activate it, because always block will be activated only under two conditions: if positive edge is detected on clock and the negative edge detected on RST. So there is no change in the value of Q of the flip-flop. It will not operate. Then we will see at time T4. At time T4, what will happen? The clock signal is going from 0 to 1. This means the positive edge. This is a positive edge. So positive edge is detected on clock signal. RST is still 1 at T4 time. So there is neg edge RST will not detect any event. But at T4 there is the event occurred on CLK, right? Because positive edge is detected. Clock is going from 0 to 1. So again the always block will be activated. Again RST is equal to 0 will be evaluated, but still RST is 1. So the next two conditions will be evaluated. If D is 0, then 0 will be transferred to the Q. If D is 1, then 1 will be transferred to the Q. Now you see at this time, at this particular time, this is T5. At time T5, CLK is 1. There is no detection of the positive edge on the CLK. But in RST, the signal is going from high to low. So a negative edge is detected on RST. Since we have written neg edge RST, so what will happen? The event occurred on the RST, and this event is the negative edge, right? So due to this negative edge on the RST, the always block will be activated, right? And once it is activated, then the first condition is evaluated. If RST is equal to 0, so now see here, after the negative edge, what happened? RST will become 0. Yes, it is 0. And if it is 0, then 0 will be assigned to Q. The other conditions, whatever is the value of D and other things, will not be tested now. Immediately 0 will be assigned to Q. So your flip-flop will reset, right? Now you see at time T6, RST is 0. So if RST is 0, then neg edge RST, this will not detect any event. This will detect event only if RST signal is going from high to low. Otherwise it will not detect, because we have written neg edge. And at time T6, in the clock signal, we detect the negative edge. right? Clock is going from high to low. So this event also not recognized because here we have written positive edge CLK. Only positive edge of the CLK will be detected. So nothing will happen. Output will remain 0. Now you see at time T7, at this time T7, at this time a positive edge is detected on CLK. If positive edge is detected, then due to the pose as CLK, event occurred on the CLK and always block will be activated. Right, now it is activated, and first thing it will evaluate if RST is equal to 0. So see at time T7, what is the value of RST? RST is 0. So if this is 0, then 0 is assigned to Q. So Q will remain 0. Right, now at this time the value of D will not be transferred to the output because RST is 0 at this time T7, when the positive edge of the clock is detected. So if the positive edge of the clock detected and RST is 0, then also the flip-flop will be in reset condition. Okay, so in this way, this flip-flop, the operation of this flip-flop is modeled by using this code, whatever I have written here. Okay, now there is another method to write this code. What is this? See here what I have written. I am checking this condition if RST is equal to 0. So in place of writing RST is equal to 0, you can write this negate operator and RST, right? This negate operator and RST, it is equivalent to RST is equal to 0. It is equivalent to RST equal to 0, right? It is same. So simply I have changed here this. In place of RST is equal to 0, I am using negate operator and RST. Now method third. In method third, what I have done, everything is same. Module, input, output, rig, always everything is same. And if RST, negate RST, then this condition is same. Else now in place of writing these two statements, right? What is this statement? If D is equal to 0, then 0 is transferred to Q. If D is equal to 1, then 1 is transferred to Q. This means whatever is the value of D, that we are transferring to Q if RST is 1 and positive edge is detected. So in place of writing these two statements, in next case I have written only one statement here. If else D is assigned to Q. In this way also we can write the code. Okay, so this is about the positive edge triggered flip-flop. Now the Verilog code of negative edge triggered D flip-flop with reset. So here you can see this bubble. This bubble indicates this flip-flop is negative edge triggered flip-flop. This means if you apply this type of clock, right? This is a clock signal. Then add this edge. This is a negative edge of the clock. Add this edge. So add this edge and this edge. Add these edges. If the RST is 1, then at the negative edge, whatever is the value of D, this will be transferred to the Q. Only this is the difference between negative edge triggered flip-flop and positive edge triggered. In positive edge triggered flip-flop, during this edge, the value of D will be transferred to the output Q. In the negative edge triggered, at this edge, the value will be value of D will be transferred to the output. So this is your negative edge. Right, normal operation of the flip-flop will remain same. So here in this code I have not changed anything. Everything is same. Only thing is here in the always block, here I am using neg edge clock. Right, earlier for the positive edge we have used pos H. So pos H detect the positive edge, whereas now the neg edge will detect this negative edge of the clock signal, right? That's all. Remaining thing is same. There is no change in the code. Now this is the test bench of the negative edge triggered flip-flop. This is the Verilog module. Here you can see neg edge RST, pos edge CLK. So this is of positive edge triggered flip-flop. Okay, right. So this is the test bench here. Unit under test. This is the unit under test. This is unit under test. So it has the ports D, CLK, RST and Q. Now in the test bench I am using the same name, D, CLK, RST. Right? These are the ports of the test bench. And here this Q, this is the port of the test bench. So the ports of the test bench which are associated with the input ports of the unit under test should be declared as rig type. Okay, and the port of the test bench which is associated with the output port of unit under test should be declared as wire. Right? So see here in the test bench module, test bench, rig, RST, rig, CLK, rig D. Right? Then wire Q. Okay. Then this statement is the instantiation statement of the UUT and test bench. So here we are, this RST belongs to the port of unit under test, and this is associated with this RST. This is the port of test bench. Right? Whatever we write inside bracket, that is the port of test bench. So we are associating the RST port of unit under test with the RST port of test bench. So you can see here RST port of test bench is associated with RST port of unit under test. CLK of the test bench is associated with CLK of the unit under test. CLK of the D of the test bench is associated with D of the test bench. So in this way we have done this instantiation. Already these things we discussed earlier also, right? And here this B indicate this is the binary value. This CLK is binary value, RST is the binary number, this Q is the binary number. So whatever we write here, and these RST, CLK, D and Q are the variables. Whenever there is change in the value of these variables, the waveform will be captured. Okay. Now here in this test bench, I am using multiple initial block. We can use multiple initial block in writing the test bench. Initial block is a procedural statement, just like a always block, and we can use multiple initial blocks and multiple always block in any Verilog code. So here what I have done, you just see, this is first initial block, then this is second initial block, and this is third initial block, and this is fourth initial block, right? So initial blocks, they execute parallelly. So here there are 4 blocks. So at the time of simulation, when the simulation will start, all the 4 blocks will execute simultaneously. Parallelly they will execute. So now you see initial block number 1, what I have written, begin, end. Between begin and end, since there are more than one statement, that's why I have used here begin and end, right? Statement, these are the statements, 3 statements I have written here. What is the first statement? RST is equal to 1 tick B 0. This means RST is 0, right? When this block will execute, initial block number 1, then what it will do, due to the first statement, it will make the value of RST is equal to 0, right? So this 1 tick B 0. This means we are talking about, B means we are talking about binary number, and there is only, this one indicates there is one binary number, and that number is written after B, and its value is 0. So with this, RST will become 0. After this, I have written repeat within bracket one integer number 4. So what it will do, whatever statement I will write after repeat, that statement will run 4 times, right? So here I have written 4. This means what statement I will write after repeat, that will execute 4 times. So what is the next statement after repeat? Hash 10. Hash 10 means, this 10 means this is the time. When the simulation, see, let us assume this is the time t is equal to 0. Simulation starts at time t is equal to 0. So hash 10 means after 10 unit time. Suppose this is 10 nanoseconds. Unit we have taken nanoseconds, suppose, for example. So hash 10 means after 10 unit time, and unit is suppose nanosecond. So after 10 nanosecond, this statement is executed. What is this statement? RST is equal to negate RST. This symbol, this is our operator. Already we know, we studied this. This operator means it will complement the value of the signal written after this. So what it will do, it will complement the value of RST. So earlier RST was 0. Earlier RST was 0 due to this statement, and now at, so here I will write the RST. Okay, let us see RST. RST was 0, but at 10 nanosecond its value will be complemented. It will become 1, right? It will become 1, and this statement will again executed, because here see this statement executed 4 times. So 1 time it is executed here. Now again hash 10 RST is equal to negate RST. So again after 10 nanosecond of this time, so this means after 10 nanosecond means it will be then 20 nanosecond. So at 20 nanosecond again RST will be negate RST. So RST is 1 now, so again it will be inverted. So at 20 nanosecond it will become 0, right? So by this time this statement is executed. This statement is executed 2 times. Now again it will be executed. Again hash 10 RST is equal to negate RST. So again after 10 unit time of 20 nanosecond, this means at 30 nanoseconds. At 30 nanosecond, again the value of RST will be complemented like this. So see, the statement executed once here, second here, third time here, and again after at 40 nanosecond. At 40 nanosecond, again the value of RST will become complemented. It will become 0. So in this way RST will be executed 4 times, right? Because we have used repeat within bracket 4. So whatever statement you have written after repeat, that will be executed 4 times. So in this way, by this initial block, we are generating a RST signal, this type of RST signal, which is initially low for 10 ns, then it will high for next 10 ns, then it will be low for 10 ns, and it will be high for next 10 ns, right? Now you see the next initial block number 2. Here what I have written, CLK is equal to 1 tick B. So this is suppose CLK, and the value of CLK is, with this statement it will become 0. Then repeat 20. So what this will do, it will repeat this statement, right? It will repeat this statement 20 times. And what is this statement? Has 2 CLK is equal to negate CLK. Means after 2 ns, CLK will become 1, then after 2 ns it will become 0, like this. 20 times it will repeat. So this will be as 2 time unit, this is 4, this is 6, this is 8, this is 10, this is 12, like this 20 times this statement is executed with the delay of this 2 unit time. Now come to the initial block number 3. What I have done here, D is equal to 0. So with this the value of D will be 0. Then repeat 10. Hash 4 D is equal to negate D. So what will happen? 10 times this statement is executed. And what is this statement? Assign the negate value, means complement value to D after the delay of 4 unit time. So like this, like this, 0, 4, 8, 12, this time, right? And this statement is executing 10 times, right? And this initial block 4, what it will do? Hash 200 finish. So what it will do, at 200 unit time it will finish the simulation. So 4 initial blocks are there. All the 4 blocks will execute parallelly. And why I have written these 4 blocks? Because with the first initial block, I am generating one RST signal. With the second initial block, I am generating one clock signal. With the third initial block, I am generating a signal on D, D input, and with the fourth initial block, I am stopping the simulation at 200 unit time. So this is the test bench. Now I will show you this demonstration. Okay, already I have written this code here, so you can see. So this is the code of D flip-flop, positive S trigger D flip-flop. You can see the code. Already we discussed about the same code. Now see the test bench. I have written this test bench, right? This is the test bench. Okay, so see, this is the test bench written here. Okay, whatever we discussed just now. Now I will simulate this. See here, the first signal Q, this is the Q, the first one is Q, second is RST, third is CLK, and fourth is D. So now see here, this RST is 0 and it is 0 up to 10 unit time, 10 nanoseconds, right? After that, for the next 10 unit time, it will remain high. At 20 unit time, again it will go low. Then at 30 nanosecond, again it will go high, and then at 40 nanosecond it will go low, right? So see, 4 times this signal is see here, test bench, repeat RST, repeat 4 times. The value of RST is negated at the gap of 10 unit time. So that's why you can find here 1, 2, 3, 4 time negation is there at the gap of 10 unit time. So in this way, these type of waveforms are generated. Now we will see, if RST is 0, then output will remain 0, whatever may be the value of CLK, whatever may be the value of D input. So see here, at this time RST is 0, that's why Q is 0. This time RST is 0, Q is 0. Whatever changes are taking place in CLK and D, nothing is reflected at the output because RST is 0. Now at 10 ns, RST will become 1 and it will remain 1 up to 20 ns. In between 10 ns to 20 ns, during the positive edge of the clock, whatever is the value of D input, that will be transferred to the output. So let us see here. Now you see at this time, at 14 nanosecond, the clock signal, see the clock signal, it is going from 0 to 1. This is the positive edge. At this positive edge, the value of D is, see the value of D is 1. So, and RST is 1. So the value of D is transferred to the output Q. Output is also 1. Right? Okay. Now, again the RST is 0. If RST will become 0, then there is no change in the output. Whatever is the change in the D input or whatever is the change in the clock, it will not reflect it. Now at 30 ns, the RST will again become 1. So now after 30 ns, you check the positive at the edge of the clock. See here, the positive edge of the clock is here. So at this positive edge, what is the value of D? D is 0. So output will become 0. Right? So in this way, we can see that our this Verilog code is showing us the functionality of D flip-flop with positive edge triggered and asynchronous reset input. Okay.